All right. Hello, everybody. I know I'm a couple minutes early. Um, I think Restream is, I'm not quite sure. I don't want to say changing things, readjusting things. Normally, the box pops up where I have to add a description to my video. That didn't happen this time. It just automatically popped me on live. So here I am, a couple minutes early. That's all right. I will figure all this stuff out. I feel like it's one of those, there's always things changing in the online world. Like if you're a Facebook person, I don't know, I assume the other platforms are the same, but especially on Facebook, I know is the algorithms are always changing. They're always switching stuff up. They're always trying to make it better, which just means it's just chronic adjustments for the rest of us. So is what it is. But I hope everyone's having a very wonderful Thursday. Um, I did not check my calendar. I know it's Thanksgiving weekend in the States. I don't know if today's Thanksgiving or not, or if that's tomorrow. I'm not quite sure. I think it's Thursday. I want to say it's today. Guys, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm just going to say happy Thanksgiving to all my American friends. I hope you're going to have a wonderful turkey day or whatever you eat. I love turkey. So, side note, before I dive into this, expectations and basically, actually, I should change the title. Not caring what other people think. That's the moral of today. Um, I have been seeing all these posts and all these memes, and my boyfriend's been finding these videos on YouTube about people that are like, "Oh, just have your this or that," or "Let's all stop pretending we love turkey." Seriously, I love turkey. I have made myself a turkey dinner for my birthday because I love turkey so much. I'm the person, if I can have 4, 5 containers of leftover turkey in the freezer, I am so happy. I love turkey. Turkey and little cut up onions in scrambled eggs. Oh my God, it's divine. I just love it. With or without cheese, you can spice it up with cheese if you like. So good. If you've ever had, I love making a homemade pad thai and turkey pad thai. It is so good. It is next level. There's something about having the turkey again with the onions. You put a little, because you're supposed to put honey in the pad thai with the rice vinegar and all that. It's just freaking divine. Like, I just love turkey. So I'm just going to throw out there. I know a lot of people, apparently, it is normal to not care for turkey. I am going to say, yes, first of all, if someone overcooks the bejesus out of it and it's super dry and sticking to your teeth, no one really likes that. But good turkey is my favorite, my all-time favorite. I freaking love it. So you can now officially say you know at least one person where turkey is literally her favorite meat. I'll say beef is right up there. It's right up there with it because boy, I love beef. But I think because um, I eat beef every single day. I'm a beefaholic every single day, sometimes a couple times a day. Beef is one of my staples. All my meals, garlic, onions, beef, pretty much. So maybe because I eat it every day, I don't get quite as hung up about it. If I didn't have it all the time, I might put beef at the top, but that's all right. So I hope you guys have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Now, speaking of the holidays and especially getting into the Christmas season, as a massage therapist, I would hear so many, I'm just going to say complaints, so many complaints of venting, whatever you want to call it, from my clients coming in for massages because the holidays are crazy. We all know this. It's just nuts. And everything from, you know, pardon me, having to deal with the decorations, having to, do all the Christmas baking, the fuss. I even had someone come in and they were complaining because ah, they had to they had to get their kids new iPads for Christmas. And you can't just get them one gift, so they had to get them iPads plus all these extra gifts so they had more than one thing to open under the tree. This is exactly the prime example I would like to talk about. Have to. You don't have to anything. At the very core of it, I say this jokingly, but you know what you have to do? You have to feed your children. You have to keep them alive. You have to not abuse them. Like, these are things you have to do. You don't have to get them nothing. Like, right, we have these things in our head, and whether it's from society, your social circle, maybe it's the other parents, the PTA, whatever it is, they put these things and we kind of take them on, like these societal pressures of have to's. But you don't like, again, I know I say this a bit joking, but you don't have to nothing. Like, we need to get over this. This is one of the big things. So I will definitely challenge you guys. Now, it is difficult to not care what people think. We have been born and raised to care what people think. That's why we wear makeup, because we want to look good, and we're not staring at ourselves in the mirror all day. So we're looking good for other people because we care what other people think. We dress nicely. We have nice houses. Like, I know for myself, I like to keep a nice home because I like the nice home. But a lot of these things, again, how we present ourselves to the world, we do it based on what everyone else thinks. Now, I'm not saying you don't want to dress professional. I'm not saying you want to look like a bum going to work or anything. Obviously, you don't. But just understanding, like, we are raised to always care what everyone else thinks. You want to have the nice, quiet child. We enjoy getting praise for all of these different things. We enjoy doing good. We go to school, again, we're raised to get the A. We're raised to get the first place. We want to get praise. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. We just need to make sure where we're seeking it are the healthy places. Like, of course, again, dressing professionally for work, showing up, your hair done. And as my hair, sorry, I'm trying to grow my bangs out. So in case anyone's wondering what's happening here, all of these different, we want to be, presentable, we want to, shower every once in a while, like all these different things. Like, yes, you still want to be your best self, go out, do your best work. Your clients deserve the best you, absolutely. But when it comes to the personal life, and especially your children, the way you celebrate holidays, that's where the to be. Like, there's a difference between presenting professional, authoritative, like, I am good at what I do. I know I'm good. You want to come work with me? I will get you what you need. Whether you're a realtor, you're even a shopping retail person, you're in the service industry like I am, whatever it is, you want your clients to feel secure that coming with you is the right choice and you are going to get them where they need to go. 100%. Absolutely. But in our home life, dictating what we, even feed our kids, how we celebrate the holidays, how we dress our kids according to what the neighbors think, about what the PTA moms think, or whatever it might be, right? That's where your line needs to be, for sure. I've said it a lot. I'll say it again always. I love the movie Bad Moms Christmas. If you have not seen this, guys, you really need to watch it because it is the perfect classic example. I'll give you a rough breakdown of the movie. You will still enjoy watching it. The main mom in there, she is like losing her mind. She is so stressed out. She essentially kind of like hates her life because she's doing the kids' homework. She has to cook all the meals. She has to be the perfect mom. By the way, what is a perfect mom? Who decides that criteria, right? So she's doing all of these things, trying to be everything. Her marriage fell apart, and life just sucks. And on top of this, I mean, we don't, looking from the inside, not having stepped outside that little bubble, you assume the kids will be happy. Mom's doing everything. Mom's spoiling us. Kids don't have to lift a finger. They don't even have to do their own art homework or science projects, right? Mom does everything, which, by the way, do not do your homework for your children. You are just robbing them of learning and being creative, and you're just letting them be lazy. Again, this is a misguided priority, a misguided expectation that you're doing something good when you're not. Again, which is laid out in the movie. So the kids are always unhappy, mom's unhappy, just everybody's unhappy all the time. The end of the movie, the mom finally has enough. She actually basically has like a mental breakdown, which is I try and avoid that for all of you guys. This is what we don't want to have happen. We want to learn the lessons before we have to go through the actual breakdown. So she has her mental breakdown, and finally she's like, I can't. I'm done. Like, I got nothing left. And she just flips the switch, and she goes into this, like, I don't care. What do you want to do? What will make you guys happy? Like, I can't do all this. And the end of the movie, the son, spoiler alert, mute me. I'll give a thumbs up when I'm done. But mute me if you don't want me to spoil this and you are going to watch it. Bad Moms or Bad Moms. I'll talk about Bad Moms. At the end of the movie, the son is cooks breakfast. He's really happy. The kids are happy. The mom's more relaxed and less stressed. And the kid is so proud of himself. He made a frittata. I've never made one. And the mom's proud and he's proud. And like, you just see it is so much better when everyone gets to kind of be their own person, actually like allow the kids to blossom and grow and try these things, right, and help out. Everyone wants to feel productive. That's why we as adults need purposes. So she's letting him do his own thing and he loves it and he's happy, right? And it's just such a great, it's just, and I'm done spoiling. It's such a great example of when we can let go of those outside expectations, the outside should, could, have to, whatever this nonsense is. Because again, remember, who decided that? You know, there's other cultures like in Western life, we work 5, 6 days a week. We're workaholics. Many countries in Europe have a 4-day work week. They work, I think they still work 40 hours, but it's a compressed work week. Their production is up, stress is down, and mental health is way better. So just because we think we have it right doesn't necessarily mean we do. Who decided what's right? Who decided we have to? Right? Similarly, I've told this story before, so I apologize if you've heard it, but it's one of the, I think it hits home pretty good and is one of the best examples. Baking cookies. I remember being up because I have this idea in my head of what makes a great Christmas, and it includes, you know, the traditional stuff, the baking, the all the things, right? So I remember being up at, it was like 11 or 11:30, somewhere in there around the midnight mark, and I'm making, I don't even remember because obviously they're not that important to me, some sort of cookie I wanted to make. And it was, for whatever reason, you know how we get these things in our head when we're just thinking about it, and we create an importance around a task that isn't important at all, but in our stress, in our overwhelm, we somehow convince ourselves this is the most important thing in the world, like our world will end if we don't complete this task. We create a false importance around things when we're stressed. I don't know why we do this, but we do. So I had created this false importance around these cookies, and I was 11:30. I'm still making them. I get them in the oven. Boyfriend's up with me. You know, I'm drinking wine because I'm all pissed off. I'm hating these stupid cookies. I'm hating my kitchen. I'm hating everything. I'm hating myself. I'm just so angry because I'm so tired. And guys, I go to bed, like, I'm asleep by 10. So like I am so exhausted at this point. And again, this is also back in my overwhelmed days where I'm really stressed. I'm not sleeping well. I'm getting 4, maybe 6 hours if I'm lucky. So I'm chronically a mess on a good day. And I'm chronically tired all the time. I'm sure many of you know what that's like. So being up at 11:30 is like, that's like, the struggle is real. And I'm just so angry. I'm so tired. And all I want to do is go to bed. And I'm just like, F you, cookies. Like, oh my God. But I had created this false importance that I had to get it done. I go in the living room. My boyfriend's not talking to me because I am in a mood, let me tell you. He's just trying to be supportive somehow. Anyway, I get these cookies done and I realize that's your tell. When there is zero joy, when there's zero enjoyment, there's zero happiness, there's just like nothing great about doing what you're doing, that is your tell. You probably shouldn't be doing it. Now, I'll say this does not apply to, going to work, or, you have to bathe the dog. Like, some things you just don't like doing and they just literally have to get done. But it's the extras, right? So, and I'll say at the same time, like, you have kids in extracurriculars, like maybe they have hockey, basketball, dance, gymnastics, all the things, and you're unhappy driving them. They're unhappy going. They don't want to play anymore. Like, all of these different things, and just everybody's pissed off all the time at this one thing you're doing. Maybe it's time to rethink doing that. Like, is your family happiness and sanity worth that? Like, why are you continuing to do it? Right? And if it's because of some outside force, oh, how will it look to the other parents if we just quit? Who cares? Who cares what they think? Let me tell you, what's that saying? People who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones or something. Everybody has their own garbage. Everyone has their own nonsense. For all you know, if you quit the extracurricular or whatever and you guys go be happy without it, you might inspire other miserable families to do the same, right? So really take a step back and really think, like, what are you doing? Why are you doing it? If you're really miserable, everybody's miserable, why are you doing it? Those cookies, I should have never been making those. Now, the flip side of that, I will say, and here again is the real proof in the pudding. Same situation. I'm up. It's like 11:30 at night. I'm making it's a poppy seed log. It's a German thing. It's not like poppy seed bread. It's literally like you take 2.5 bags of the refill poppy seed bags you get at Sobeys, and which is like 300, 400 grams. I can't even remember. But 2.5 bags, and I have to, like, in a it's like a meat grinder, but it's a press for crushing poppy seeds. You pour them in the top, it grinds them, and they in this nice soggy mess that comes out. So I have to actually grind these poppy seeds into a nice, it's almost like a bit of a paste. If you ever go into a Norwegian or German store, you will see a tub of poppy seed filling. It usually has, I know Norwegians like to put oranges and stuff in there. Us Germans, we tend to not do that. I know my recipe is just apples, raisins. I believe there's some spice and lemon in there, maybe lemon zest. But it's this big poppy seed filling. And you roll your pastry out like a cinnamon, kind of like a cinnamon bun. You roll it out nice and flat, and you fill the filling in, and then you roll up the log. So it's not like a bread or anything. It's a poppy seed log. This is a tradition. I've been doing it for over a decade. I love it. This poppy seed log is one of my favorites. It really does have meaning. It's like Christmas cookies. Um, I put this in another video, but if you haven't seen it, the Christmas cookies, it's another, I used to make them with my Oma, so it's a German cookie. They are called Pfefferkuchenplätzchen. Obviously, as a kid, I'm not saying that, 20-letter word. So we've always called them Christmas cookies. So I always will call them my Christmas cookies. They're like a chocolate gingerbread. They are so good. So good. Just saying. So this, back to my story. I know, typical female. I'm all over the map telling stories. My boyfriend, it drives him nuts. It's hilarious. So I'm making my poppy seed log. It's 11:30 at night. I'm just like so tired. I'm like, oh my God. But I'm happy. I'm smiling. I'm just like, yes, I'm making my poppy seed log. I get it in the oven. I go sit on the couch with my tea, and I'm just like, oh, it's finally in the oven. Yes, I'm so excited. I set my alarm, and I'm happy. I'm exhausted, but I'm so excited to be getting this made because it really is a priority for me. It's really something that means something, and it's worth being tired over. So exact same situations. I'm up late baking for Christmas. One of them, I hate everything. I should not be making those cookies. I should have never done that. Misguided priority expectations. The other one, it's very meaningful. It brings me joy. Yes, that was well worth all of it. So I hope you can see the difference. Like, exact same situation, but one of them was actually a priority. One of them was a misguided expectation. outside sources. And that's the thing. Again, I've heard from a lot of my clients where they come in and they're in this cookie exchange and they're just like, oh my God, I don't have time to bake these stupid cookies. Like, can you buy cookies for a cookie exchange? And they're all stressed out. And I'm like, well, just tell them you can't. Or like, why did you sign up for this cookie exchange? Oh, I always do. I don't know how to say no to them. Oh, I'm just so tired. And this is something you don't need. This is unnecessary stress. This is like, right? We all know you're overwhelmed, you're stressed. None of us, well, personally, I do have time now because I've arranged my schedule. I do have lots of time. That's why I'm here to help you guys. But I know you don't have time. You're so busy. The kids are this, the kids are that. That's why you're overwhelmed, is because you don't have enough time. I get that. Again, that's why I'm here to help. But my point is, why are you taking on extra stuff? You don't even have time for the stuff you're doing already. Like Christmas is so busy. You have all the parties, the plays, the events, you have to all the extra shopping, the wrapping, the decorating, the baking. Like there's so much extra in your already busy life that you don't need to add extra that you don't even want to do. You don't even like doing it. Serves you or your family no purpose. Right? So there's two pieces of advice here. I really want to leave with you so you guys can start implementing. The season just started. I know in the States they have Thanksgiving, so maybe they have a little extra roll. I don't know. I don't know if they lump in Christmas with Thanksgiving in the States. But really, first of all, for the saying no, setting those boundaries, I really would love you this works really well, guys. So maybe challenge you to, if that stimulates you better to get doing it. Um, think of those situations, like maybe it's the cookie exchange. Maybe there's one out there you haven't said yes to yet, and you know you do not want to say yes. You want to say no. So you picture the situation happening. Write down the situation. I pen to paper all the time, guys. Write it down. What's the situation? So and so is going to come ask me to be part of this cookie exchange. Whatever your situation is, you want to say no to. Da 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 da. What's the ideal outcome you want? I very politely explain, I'm just way too busy this year. I have too much going on. I hopefully next year I I I really am going to miss doing this, but I know I just don't have time. I have enough on my plate already. So sorry. Literally, again, you're writing it out, the ideal situation. Now you're going to put below that the reason that this situation is going to make your life better. I don't have to worry about baking 10 dozen cookies. I don't have to worry about squeezing in. It's going to save me so much stress. It's going to save me time. I'm going to be so much happier. I'm going to be so relieved. Like, write down all the positives saying no to this thing is going to give you. Because then if you're thinking of chickening out, you go, this is why you're saying no. You have to remember that. Sometimes we need to remind ourselves, especially when you're not good at saying no, you need to give yourself that bit of courage. This is why you're doing this. So stick to your guns. Now, here's the real kicker is when you write out how you're going to respond, how you're going to politely, graciously say no, you literally write it out. You're going to memorize that and you're going to rehearse. You're going to play the situation in your head over and over until you actually start feeling comfortable saying no, even if you have to play it out like you're literally rehearsing for a play. But by practicing saying this, when the event actually comes, you have that memorized. Your brain kicks in. It's like literally being in a play. Oh, hey, I know my lines here. And you'll say it because you've practiced and rehearsed it so much. If actors just read their lines and then just went out and wung it, they get it wrong a lot. Similarly, if you're not good at saying no and you don't rehearse it, you don't practice it, when that situation comes, oh, hey, can you bake the cookies? You're like, shit, what was I supposed to say? Crap. I can't remember. Yes, I can bake the cookies. Like, I've done that before. I'm sure you guys have done that too. That's why it's so important to rehearse it, play it over in your mind, really to the point where you're feeling comfortable. When you're pretending to say it, you feel comfortable and confident. And then, yeah, like I said, you're like 90% more likely to say no in the situation when it actually happens. So do that. The other one is really be aware when you start having those like, I don't want to do that. Oh, I'm upset at doing this. Like these situations where you notice you really like resent the task you have to do. If this is a negotiable task, like obviously going to work, having to do your job, having to, go buy groceries, like there's just some things, doing laundry. There are some things we just have to do, right? So if it's not one of these like must do's, non negotiables, and you really resent the task, you're upset every time you do it, really ask yourself, why are you doing this? Does it bring you joy? Does it bring your family joy in some respect? Like really dig down and don't just be like, well, why am I doing it? And come up with some foo-foo excuse of why to placate yourself from having to think about it. This is another common thing we do. Like, for example, oh, hey, Sonia, why do you help people with stress and anxiety? Oh, because people are way too stressed out in the world and they don't have to live like that. Okay, but why? Well, because um, it's really hard. Like people, it really affects your emotions and affects your family life and affects your work. Like really being overwhelmed and stressed, it really affects every aspect of your life. And people can have a better quality of life if they get that under control. Okay, but why? Well, because I used to be overwhelmed and I kind of hated my life. And it really, like, I had a good life, but I couldn't enjoy any of it because I was so overwhelmed all the time. And then when I got over that and I got rid of my stress and anxiety, I loved my life. And I know that if I can do this, other people can do it too. So I know other people can have great lives that they enjoy also. Okay, but why? Because we all deserve to be happy. Every human being, you know, aside from like serial killers, but like every human being, we all deserve to enjoy our life, to love life, to be happy. And I know we can achieve that if we get rid of our stress and anxiety, right? So don't just stop at that fluffy first level. Oh, why? Blah, blah, blah. And you're like, okay, well, it's good enough. No, dig down. Why are you doing this? And if it comes down, because 9 times out of 10, when you dig down into that, fourth, fifth, why are you doing this? Well, because Sarah or Joe Bob or the neighbors or the other moms at school will think I'm a bad mom. Well, should we really be caring what they think? And again, I highly recommend you watch that movie because everyone, it's kind of the moral of the movie, everyone is a bad mom. Everyone has their aspect of what is right, what is perfect, and we will never measure up to all of the standards that everybody has. It's ridiculous, right? So, this is where what is acceptable for you? What do you think is just fine? And let's think back to when you first had your babies, too. Everyone was trying to tell you what to do. You got pissed off with it. You were like, can I just raise my kid what I think is right? You need to pull that back out and be like, but what do I think and know is right for my family and my kids and myself? And ignore all that noise telling you the 10,000 different ways that you need to do the same one thing, right? This is really important. I really feel like getting this under control is kind of a make or break for being able to enjoy the holiday season. And I will put this for any holiday because you're always going to have like, even I love my mom. Don't get me wrong, I love her, but she has an inability to sit in quiet. Like there has to be some sort of noise for her. So she fills the void with pretty useless chatter, and a lot of that chatter tends to actually be critical. And even to the point where one time I was mashing potatoes and she's sitting there and she's just like, "That's how you're going to mash the potatoes?" And I'm like, yes, it is. Been mashing them for many, many years now. Turns out fine every year. Like, it's good, right? Like, just to take these things with grains of salt, understand that we don't care. Like, uh, it's easier with some people than others. I will say that. But, like, even My brother would complain. My brother likes to complain. That's kind of the person he is. Oh, the blah, 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 potatoes are blah, 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 blah. I'm like, well, then don't eat them. I like them. Does he eat them? Of course he does. He just wanted to complain for whatever reason. So this is the other thing about, caring what other people think. There is a vast majority of group people out there. People that are stressed and overwhelmed tend to be more negative. It's really hard for them to see positive, to see the silver lining. That's why I really feel like, again, we need that help to pull us out of that overwhelm, because it just sucks us in. And misery loves company. So you get around the negative people that are complaining about stuff, you get sucked right in, right? And because they're used to complaining and they're negative, they're going to find things to complain about because it's what they know, which is why it's so much more important to not care what they think, because they're trying to find things to complain about. And it's like that saying, like, I think it's something like, show me the person, I'll show you their problem, or I'll show you their fault, something like that. But just meaning like, if I want to, I'm going to find fault in you if I want, because that's kind of like human nature. None of us are perfect. We all have faults. We all have things wrong. And the way you like your mashed potatoes isn't the way I like my mashed potatoes, maybe. Right? We're both right, but we're also both wrong according to who's discussing it, right? So again, what is good for you? What is good for your family? What is right? Cut the noise. And at the end of the day, like, again, I've had someone come in, and my real tree, we go out and we cut it down ourselves, from a tree lot or from a friend's farmland, decorate it, like very old school. I love it. And I've had people comment on, the one year we had a bit of a Charlie Brown tree, and they're like, oh, that's a real tree, isn't it? And I'm like, good thing it's mine and not yours, because I love it. Obviously, you don't. You hate it. I didn't say that to them, but it was very apparent they hated it. And I'm like, yeah, you don't have to like it. It's not yours. It's mine, and I love it. Right? So just to remember that, again, we don't need to get bitchy or snotty about it, but just in the back of your head, nice and quietly, good thing it's mine and not yours. Yep. Or like I literally do say to my brother, well, then don't eat it, because this is how I mash my potatoes. Right? Like, just let go of caring. So again, I know, guys, if you don't currently do these things, if you don't practice it, it's a habit. It's forming a new habit. So you really need to stick with it. Put those sticky notes around. If you need to, do I care? Why am I doing this? And really, why are you doing this? Is it because someone else told you to, or is it because you really want to? All right, bit longer than I would have cared for, but I feel like this is really important, especially the holiday season. So many people do so many over the top extras that they don't have to, because someone somewhere in society has told them they have to. You don't have to nothing. You don't even have to have a tree if you don't want to, right? To each their own. You do what makes you and your family happy, and forget all the noise. All right, guys, I hope it helps. Have a very wonderful Thanksgiving weekend. And to all my Canadian friends that are not celebrating Thanksgiving this weekend, it is Thursday, which means it's pretty much Friday, which have a very wonderful weekend. And we